Alright, so this week, instead of doing a vlog, I'm just going to sit and chat about one thing that I thought would be pretty fun to chat about, and that is my top five cosplays that I have done. Five out of I don't know how many, and I don't want to stop to think about out of a lot, because I've been doing this for a lot of years, and there were points in time when that was really all I did was sew. So anyways, number five is my Joffrey Baratheon from Game of Thrones. It's one of those things where it's just fun to be the bad guy, and the most entertaining thing about that was all of the comments I got from people, which I won't even repeat some of them here, but yeah, we just had a lot of fun with it. The first time I wore it, and it was on Easter Sunday at the Renaissance Festival. It was like a week or two after the Purple Wedding episode had aired, and I only believe in the concept of hell because I think that this is why I'm going to hell. A lot of people came up to me and said, "He has risen," and I just like do this Jesus pose, and I'm going to hell. That went straight to my head because a lot of people called me Your Grace as well. The first couple times I wore it, my girlfriend was cosplaying Marjorie, which was a lot of fun. The next couple of times, she was cosplaying Cersei, which was even more messed up and fun. And it was just a lovely piece. It was a beautifully tailored tunic with the nice velvet cape and the nice fabric. It was just a fun project. Number four is Jessie from Team Rocket. And my girlfriend was James, and this is not any standard Team Rocket. This was a Victorian steampunk version. And we had Meowth on my bustle, and so that was just fun because it was like the nostalgia feels. Victorian is still my favorite genre of clothing to make and to wear, and we just had a ridiculous time with it. And that will bring me to number three, which is the only one this year that I think has been featured on any of my YouTube stuff at all so far, which is my Templar. Just Dragon Age 2 Kirkwall generic Templar. I kind of have more fun almost with, instead of a face character like, oh, I'm a stormtrooper, I'm a Templar, I'm a random NPC from one scene. I don't know why, but in some ways that appeals more to me than like being a character. But anyway, so that's what that was. It was far from the first time I've made armor, but the first time I've been happy with it. Anything else, really, when I've had armor that didn't look like garbage, it was because my ex-best friend had made it. We had this thing going on when we were still on good terms with each other, because he wasn't that into sewing and didn't really have enough interest to practice at it and get good, and that was how I felt with like props and armor, so we just like traded labor for each other. But then we had a really bad falling out, and I was like, oh, well, now I have to learn how to do all this on my own. And that was the first time when it really worked out. And as I said, another one, that's the one I'm getting 3D printed, so that's exciting. And I just feel really great wearing it. Just like a badass shield maiden. My friend who I was at Hair of the Dragon with, we actually had a discussion, because we couldn't quite decide. If you're a shield maiden, so you're like a medieval fantasy warrior knight lady. If you're a shield maiden, but you're not a virgin, so you're not a maiden, what do you call that? And we kind of came to the conclusion that maybe sword slut is good, but we weren't entirely happy with that. So sword slut, I guess. But it was just a fun one, and it when I started planning it and started making it, it was at a point in my life when things were finally starting to look up. So it was, yeah, just all those good things, good memories. And now, what am I up to? 2. Can't even count to 5. What's wrong with me? Number 2 is my historically accurate Madame Red from Kursachuji, or Black Butler. Now this, what year was this? 2009, 2010. It was when it was new. I don't even think the anime was out yet, maybe. Or maybe it was, but there were no translations yet. I know that when I had read the manga at that time, I don't know if there was not an official translation out, but what I was reading was like bootleg, sketchy, illegal fan translation. But anyways, so I was into it before it was cool, you guys. But anyways, that was like my first real cosplay. I know, before you flip your lids thinking like, oh my, that was your first. No, that was far, far from my first time sewing. Not even my first time making a Victorian dress. No. But first time doing a cosplay character that wasn't like, oh, I'll just throw some junk together and go to the local con for a few hours on Saturday. The first one was like a concerted effort into this cosplay thing. But anyways, I just took the design elements from the manga and decided I wanted to do it historically accurate, because at the time I was very into the historical reproductions and all of that, period correct, and all the research. But anyways, that was one of my favorites. A lot of people like started recognizing me for it, which, you know, my ego loved. I did my first masquerade in that and got the best novice for both presentation and workmanship, and it was just fantastic to wear. I loved it. I just think it was a really nice looking dress, just bold, red and black, pleaty, drapey, curtain fabric-y dress. And the other day I was kind of thinking I want to kind of come back to it, but do like her ball gown maybe. I don't know. I have like different ideas every single day. Obviously I can't do them all, and I usually lose interest in 90% of them, but that was something that had occurred to me, which brings me to my number 1 favorite cosplay of all time that I have done, and that is my Aveline from Dragon Age 2. Yep. The fun thing about that was I kind of made it on impulse. Like, I was bored and realized I had all the materials already, like leftovers and bits and bobs, and in my storage closet, and, you know, had red hair and big delts, so just went with it. And then it turned out to just be one that I love wearing, that it's kind of my thing, like my Aveline, that every con I'll be Aveline. And it's, I don't know what to say. I just really love it, and I really love the character, and just the Dragon Age cosplay in general is very near and dear to me. I have so many friends who do it. That's kind of why that's what I always come back to. But yeah, that's it. It's my top 5 cosplays. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to edit this to put pictures in. And that's all. Have fun and be safe, y'all.